and the shadows of Pendle Hill. In the year of our Lord 1612, a pall of dread hung over the rolling hills of Lancashire. Whispers of witchcraft and devilry echoed through the mist-shrouded valleys, carried on winds that seemed to moan with the voices of the damned. At the heart of this maelstrom of suspicion and fear stood Pendle Hill, a looming specter that cast its shadow over the accused and accuser alike. Alison Device, a girl of scarce 14 summers, trembled before the stern gaze of Roger Nowell, the local magistrate. Her eyes, dark as coal and wild with terror, darted about the room as she stammered out her confession. "I, sir," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the crackling fire. "I did curse John Law, the peddler. My familiar, a black dog given to me by my grandmother, old Demdike, set upon him at my command." Nowell leaned forward, his quill poised above parchment. "And this dog, child? Where did it come from?" Alison's lower lip quivered. "From the devil himself, sir. Old Demdike sold our souls for his favor." As Alison's tale unraveled, a tapestry of darkness began to take shape. She spoke of sabbats held on the windswept summit of Pendle Hill, where witches danced naked under the baleful light of the moon. She told of corpses unearthed and rendered down for their unholy fats, of curses laid upon cattle and crop alike, and of infants stolen from their cribs to be sacrificed to Satan. Word spread like wildfire through the countryside. More accusations followed, each more horrifying than the last. Elizabeth Device, Alison's mother, found herself hauled before the court, her own son James a witness against her. "I saw her conjure a familiar," the boy declared, his young face contorted with a mixture of fear and malice. "A thing like unto a brown dog, which she called Ball. She sent it to lame the cattle of John Robinson, who had refused her begging." Elizabeth wailed her denials, but her cries fell on deaf ears. The crowd that had gathered outside the courthouse bayed for blood, their faces twisted into masks of righteous fury. As summer waned and autumn's chill crept across the land, more of the accused were brought to trial. Anne Whittle, known to all as Chattox, stood defiant before her accusers. Her eyes, rheumy with age but burning with an inner fire, swept across the courtroom. I'm a witch," she spat, her voice carrying the rasp of dried leaves. "And I curse you all. May your children wither in the womb, may your fields lie fallow, and may your dreams be haunted by the spirits I shall send to torment you." A collective gasp rose from the assembled crowd, followed by cries for her immediate execution. Nowell, his face pale beneath his beard, called for order. In the depths of Lancaster Castle, the accused witches languished in dank cells. Alice Nutter, a woman of gentle birth now brought low, huddled in a corner, her once fine dress now little more than rags. She muttered prayers incessantly, her fingers worrying at a crude rosary fashioned from knotted straw. Next to her, Catherine Hewitt, called Mold Heels, laughed manically. "Pray all you want, fine lady," she cackled. "Your God cannot hear you down here. Only the Dark One listens now." As the trial drew to its inevitable conclusion, a palpable sense of doom settled over the proceedings. Judge Bromley, his face a mask of grim determination, pronounced the sentences. "You stand convicted of witchcraft, the most heinous of crimes against God and man," he intoned. "The sentence is death. You shall be taken from this place to the gallows, where you will hang by the neck until dead. May God have mercy on your souls." The condemned were led away, some wailing, some defiant to the last. Old Demdike, her ancient frame bent double with age and the weight of her chains, turned to fix the judge with a baleful stare. "You think this ends with our deaths?" she croaked. "Fool. Our blood will seep into the earth of Pendle Hill, and from it will spring a crop of vengeance that will plague this land for generations to come." On a gray August morning, the witches of Pendle met their fate. As the trapdoors dropped and bodies danced their macabre jig at the end of the rope, a great crack of thunder split the sky. Those who witnessed the execution would later swear that, for a brief moment, the face of the devil himself could be seen leering from the storm clouds. In the years that followed, the the shadow of the Pendle witch trials lingered like a miasma over Lancashire. Crops failed, livestock sickened and died, and children were born with strange deformities. Many whispered that old Demdike's curse had indeed come to pass. On nights when the moon hung full and bloated in the sky, locals claimed to see spectral figures dancing atop Pendle Hill. The plaintive howl of a dog would sometimes echo across the moors, causing those who heard it to cross themselves and mutter a prayer. Roger Nowell, the magistrate who had first pursued the witches, found no peace in the aftermath of the trials. He was plagued by nightmares in which the accused stood at the foot of his bed, their eyes burning with ethereal fire, their mouths opened in silent screams. He took to drink and was eventually found dead in a ditch, his face frozen in an expression of abject terror. As for Alison Device,